NFL is here. The season, finally. Chris Onorato, Ashley Miller on Onorato and Company. I am every fall, and I probably say it for every professional sports season, I am so looking forward to this year. There is so much, I feel anyway, Ash, and we'll go through our predictions. We'll give our Super Bowl pick even before week one officially kicks off. I feel like there's so much uncertainty in this NFL season. I don't think, regardless of what Vegas says about the Bills, I don't think there is a heavy favorite this year.
Yeah.
So maybe more so than the last handful of years when it felt like the Bucs and the Chiefs and then the Rams loaded up. I think you can kind of throw a bunch of teams at the wall to see what sticks. How pumped are you for tonight?
Yeah, listen, everyone loves football, right? I feel like if you're a big sports fan, you're a big football fan. I love college football, but I will watch literally any game. I used to joke, and this no longer is really relevant because the Bengals are good, but I always used to say, like, I will watch Bengals Browns every day of the week, and it wouldn't matter to me. I'll watch anyone play. So, yeah, I'm super fired up. I think it's awesome that we get the Bills game one here, specifically for our media market and people that care about the Bills here in New York. But it's one of the favorites against another one of the favorites in the NFC and the Rams and the defending Super Bowl champs. So really fired up for tonight. I will be watching probably every second of it. I know you'll try to watch some of it, maybe not all of it, but yeah, it's going to be awesome. Right. And you're right. There is uncertainty. I think the best part about this year is that, like, you can't write any teams off. Like, you can't write the Chiefs off just because they had a down year. Like, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucs are good again, or there's someone that kind of makes their way through the woodwork. I have a couple teams circled that I'm like, if this happens, this is kind of like a dark horse. So that's the fun of the whole season, just seeing how it all plays out.
Full show stacked with NFL. Let's get it going here on Onorato and Company.
This is Onorato and Company, brought to you by Alpin House.
Shout out to all of our local business partners here on this show. Without them, this in its form is not possible. So we love the support here locally we get. We thank them for that. As the only live streamed sports talk show that is also televised, Onorato and Company, here on News Channel 13's Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, Saturday nights on My 4. This is the ultimate freezing cold takes exposed show, because we talk about things and make predictions on a Thursday morning live, and by the time it hits TV on Saturday night, we already know whether or not it's come true. So,
well, only in this case, the Bills game, which is nice.
Yeah, that will be the case here tonight as well, because we have the NFL season opener here. Bills at the Rams. At last check, Buffalo, a 2.5-point favorite. The road team against the defending Super Bowl champs, a road favorite. Okay, 8:20 kick on NBC and News Channel 13.
It's only a field goal, man. It's not like...
Yes, but back in the day, the general rule used to be that the home team got 3 just for being home. So you could make the case that this is 5.5, that Vegas views the Bills as a relatively touchdown favorite here. Now, I think Vegas would tell you that has changed. They don't just award 3 to being home anymore. It's more like, 1.5 or 2. Either way.
Yeah.
A team that didn't make the Super Bowl is a favorite against the team that won the Super Bowl. I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
The NFL has done this very well over the last 15 years, giving the season opening home game to the defending Super Bowl champs, but giving them an opponent that is also very good.
Yes.
This is a dream matchup, in my opinion, Ash, to start the year.
Yeah, listen, I love it. And not to reveal everything, but this matchup will come up later in the show for me. So, yeah, these are two of, I think, the better teams in each conference. And I'm excited. You finally get to see the starters play, which darn it, like I hate the preseason because you're like intrigued to watch, and yet you're watching all these players who you're not going to see on the field very often. So I'm excited to see Josh Allen really play, to see what the Rams look like, to see if Stafford is healthy. All of those questions some of those questions will get answered tonight.
Yeah, we find out that Stafford had some sort of off-season procedure on his elbow. Concerning. This LA defense should still be very, very good. I know Von Miller, who had a great stretch run with them, is now playing for the other side here in Buffalo. But I still think when you've got Aaron Donald and you've got Jalen Ramsey, this defense is anchored by some serious talent. Carol's a Rams fan. All right.
Carol's a Rams fan. Lisa's a Bills fan.
Love it. Love it. And this is the beauty of the NFL. It isn't a hyper regional sport for some reason, just because it's been so nationally televised for so long. It's easy to kind of find fans of different teams in every corner of the country, which is really, really cool. Your thoughts? We're going to do picks too. We've got the Pick Six Vodka NFL Pick'em still to come here too. So I guess don't reveal a pick here. Should the Bills be favored? Are they the better team?
I don't know if they should be favored. I think they're the sexy team. They're the team that everyone is talking about.
Everybody.
And that's why I'm always hesitant to jump on with like a bandwagon. It's not a bandwagon team. Listen, they've been very good. They're worthy of, I think, all the hype. But I'm always hesitant. Yeah, exactly, Everett. I'm always hesitant to jump on a bandwagon when it's like the cool, popular thing to do. I tend to shy away from that. In this case, I'm not going to. I'm going to ride the Bills bandwagon because I want it to be true. I'm so sick of this awful team that I'm ready to root for a New York team who can actually do something. And the Bills are that.
Okay. Well, Jeff says good morning. Good morning, Jeff. Jeff was out, I know, this morning, first day of school in Glens Falls, repping the great hockey team they have up there with the mascot. So good stuff from Jeff there. He says you're looking good. Big blue and the orange.
Big blue and the orange.
Okay. Yeah. The Thunder mascot was greeting fifth graders this morning, which is pretty cool. Yeah, this statement is true, correct? It is Super Bowl or bust for the. I don't think anything short of reaching the Super Bowl is good enough if you're the Bills this year, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not saying McDermott gets fired if they don't reach the Super Bowl, but this is now the expectation and the threshold that the team has set for itself based on the past couple of years when it has been close to achieving a trip to the Super Bowl. So I'm not saying they have to win it, but in order to gauge this as a successful season, Buffalo has to be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, listen, it's Super Bowl or bust just means you're disappointed with anything less than a Super Bowl appearance. It doesn't mean Sean McDermott's getting fired or anything else like that is happening. But yeah, I think it's you get to the Super Bowl or it's a huge disappointment for the Bills this season. And maybe that's just because of like outside pressure that everyone else has put on them. But I think internally they would tell you that too. It's Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah.
They've added pieces to this team. I like this comment. Allen to Davis. I feel like it's so funny. Everyone wants to talk about Stephon Diggs, and we forget that Gabe Davis was maybe their best receiver last year, and it still just somehow flies under the radar. So they are loaded with talent.
Yeah, they sure are. All right, while we're in this, Ash, and we've talked about, we're going to pick our weekly Pick Six Vodka NFL Pick'em, and it has a twist this year, which we'll tell you about later on in the show. We'll make those predictions. We're going to give predictions throughout the show about who we think is going to win what division and which teams will make the wild card playoffs. So let's get into it here. Let's jump into those AFC predictions as we continue to talk about the Bills. This is a no-brainer in the East. It's Buffalo. I won't even spend any more time as to why I think it's Buffalo. They're easily the best team in that division. Okay. This is the year for Josh Allen, by the way, to win the MVP. We talk about the season outlook and expectations. This is the year for Allen to win the MVP.
Yep.
I'm going to stick with the Bengals here in the North, Ash, because although I think it's competitive between Cincinnati and, yes, Nick, Houday, even though I think it's competitive between Cincinnati and Baltimore in the North, I'm going to ride with the Bengals here. I don't know the defenses figure out a way to stop Burrow, Mixon, Chase. Higgins. We can start listing guys.
Yep.
The South, I'm on the Colts. I think Matt Ryan plays really well for Indianapolis. Yep. They have arguably the best running game in the entire sport. The defense is pretty good.
Very good.
I'll take Indianapolis to win the South, a division that is not good. Okay. And then out west is my real shocker. I'm on Vegas, and I understand that they are predicted to finish 4th in Vegas. They're plus 600. I get it. There's so much talent in this division, but they have the best, I think, receiving core in all football. If you're just to list 3 guys off any roster, I think the Raiders have the best, and that being Adams, Renfro, and Waller. Oh, by the way, Josh Jacobs, a pretty good running back. The O-line is questionable, but I like Josh McDaniels in his second go-round here. I'm going to ride the Raiders in the division. Here are your divisional picks.
Yeah, I'm on the Bills as well. I mixed it up a little bit. I know Nick isn't going to like this. And you've talked about this and Lamar Jackson potentially having an MVP caliber season. I think the Ravens had a fantastic draft. I'm not sure. Listen, I love Joe Burrow. I buy into the hype. I'm not sure as a team they are going to do what they did last year. He will be as good as he was, but I'm not sure as a team that they will be able to do what they did last year. So I went a little different and picked the Ravens. I love the Colts. The Colts are my dark horse for the season. If I might put $50 on the Colts right now, because I think your odds
to do what?
Like Super Bowl odds. Okay. I think your odds for them are the best money of any team out there. They're kind of my sleeper. If Matt Ryan can be 80 to 90% of what he was when he was the Matt Ryan, they have all the talent in the world on that team. They have just lacked a quarterback. This is now their 3rd quarterback in 3 years. I love the Colts. And like you said, bad division. West, this division is fantastic. I can't wait to see how it plays out. But yes, I'm not on the Broncos either. I went Chargers because I love Justin Herbert. I think he will be an MVP candidate this season. And I know there's a lot of competition in that division, and you're picking them over the Raiders and the Broncos. We're both off the Broncos. So yeah, I'm going Chargers, but I think you could make a case for any team in that division. Even if you wanted to go Broncos, you can make a case.
All right, Nick is on the Raiders here too. This is interesting. Okay. Melissa reacting to your Matt Ryan comment there. And you're not alone. I think Matt Ryan will play well for them too. He's got the support of that running game, which will certainly make life easier on him. Here are my AFC Wild Card teams to get in. You can't ignore the Chiefs. You've said it. I understand no Tyreek Hill, but Travis Kelce, Juju Smith-Schuster, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. They have, and they still have Hardman. I mean, this is still a very good Chiefs team with Patrick Mahomes, who's a top 3 quarterback. So they're in the playoffs for me. I've told you what I think about Lamar Jackson. I think he finishes his top 5 in the MVP voting. Yeah. And then the Chargers are just too talented. You wonder about the coaching, but I think Herbert has a huge year. They're just too talented to leave them out of the playoff picture.
Yeah, and so when you add in my wild card teams, we have all the same teams, just in a different mix. So I've got some as wild cards, some as division winners, opposite of you. So yeah, the Bengals will be in the playoffs. Again, I'm picking something a little different. They won't win the division, but they get in. You can't count out the Chiefs. I think they're going to be really good again this year. I know Patrick Mahomes has been a little bit of a wild ride, but they still have enough talent on that team. He has enough talent to win games. And I really like the Raiders. I like that whole division. I would almost put the whole division in.
Yeah, I think the Broncos finished 4th as well. Carol says she's rocking a Colts coffee cup right now as we talk a little bit about Indianapolis winning the AFC South. Sam is watching. He says, hope springs eternal even for Jets fans. Sam, we're going to be talking about your Jets when we come back from this commercial break on Onorato and Company. We're back in less than a minute, everybody, with the season outlooks for the Giants and the Jets. That's next here on Onorato and Company, as well as those NFC division predictions.
Teams, athletes, organizations. We're transforming the custom apparel industry through product and purpose. Claim your crown.
water, smoke, mold, and sewage cleanup. Reconstructing your home after a disaster can be both stressful and demanding. KPM Restoration will work quickly to restore your home. We'll help provide complete damage restoration to your property.
My problem was that I was traveling. There was a leak in my basement. We called KPM. They came in at 9 o'clock at night and were there till 2 o'clock in the morning until the problem was solved.
KPM Restoration. We'll get you back to normal.
And now back to Onorato and Company. Brought to you by Alpen House.
Look at that roster of local business support here on this Sports Talk show. I absolutely love it. Quick reminder here to everybody who may not know, you're watching the pod. We appreciate that, but you can also listen to it on any of the podcast platforms that you prefer: Apple, Spotify, and Amazon. All you have to do is tell Alexa at home, Alexa, play the podcast Onorato and Company, and she will do just that. It may be listening right now in the Onorato household and speaking. There she is. She's talking. So I've got her now listening to you. Yeah.
Now for your podcast. Here's the latest episode. Number 10 we do on Just the Cliches, which are named as digital heroes.
She's
Alexa,
literally playing.
Alexa, stop. Okay.
She listens to you.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Let's jump back into it here. Proof that it works.
Yep.
That's all that is proof that
every time you do it, I turn around and look.
Giants have an important season in front of them, not because the head coach is on the hot seat, not because they are feeling pressure to make the playoffs, but because the future of this franchise kind of hangs in the balance here with a second overall pick in Barkley and a sixth overall pick in Jones, two guys who are playing for a contract.
Yep.
And the Giants need to decide whether or not they are worth keeping. To me, these are the two most interesting guys on the team right now. Are they future New York Giants or not? Ash, I don't think they are. And I'll just quickly, I don't think Daniel Jones finishes the year as the starting quarterback. I think at some point Tyrod Taylor comes in for him. And I don't think Brian Dable and Joe Shane, for that matter, will value Barkley or the running back position to the degree that Saquon's going to want in terms of his money. I also don't know that he's going to have a good enough year to warrant a really long-term deal behind this offensive line. So I don't think Jones or Barkley play for the Giants next year.
Yeah, Jones for me is a no. I agree with you. I don't think he finishes the year as the starting quarterback. I'm not sure they're going to give him time, but they're not going to let him go 1-8, 1-9. They're going to then because you have to then decide, okay, he's not my franchise quarterback at that point. So then you allow other people to develop. I've said this, you allow other people to develop under a quarterback who has more skill in Tyrod Taylor.
Is it possible that they're 2-5, but Jones is playing well? Is that possible? Could it be that they're losing games 35-31 and you're saying, hey, the quarterback's playing pretty well here. He's not turning the ball over the way he was. And we're moving the football. We're scoring points.
It's possible, but they won't score 31 points in most games. So from that perspective, I don't think that happens. But is it possible that he keeps his job despite them losing? Yes, if that scenario plays out. I don't think that scenario plays out.
What do the Giants finish? What's the record at the end of the year for them?
6 wins.
6-11. That's fair.
I think that would be on the good side. Strangely enough, I think that would be on the positive side for them. And I think they would be okay with that. I just think that's a weird spot for you to land to then have to make a decision on Daniel Jones. 6-0, unless you get 8 wins, unless you take that team beyond where you think it should be, which 8 wins would be beyond where you probably thought they should be. Okay, now you can talk about, did we see enough from him? He did more than he should have, whatever. Saquon Barkley, for me, someone will value him enough, even if the Giants decide they're not going to sign him to another deal, someone will give him money. He will get a 4-year deal somewhere because of what he was able to do in college and what he was able to do his rookie year with the Giants. So if you're the Giants and you need a running back, I give it to him. But, maybe they don't want to spend the money at that position.
Yeah, and I wonder what kind of deal is he going to be looking for? A
Right.
Derrick Henry size deal,
Well, no.
an Aaron Jones size deal? It's
Not gonna get that
$9 million a year. I wouldn't give him that.
No.
Okay, so we're kind of on the same page with that.
Yeah.
All right.
5, 6.
How about the other team not in New York, as Bills fans like to point out? The Jets. This Zach Wilson thing has been weird, right?
Yeah.
Like we thought, hey, week 1 is a very real possibility. We're going to target week 1 for him. Maybe week 2, Flacco might have to get us through the opener. But then we think now Robert Saleh just yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just on Wednesday said, you know what? He's probably going to miss the first 4 weeks of the season. Okay.
Yeah.
So what are we expecting and getting out of I don't know. It just always everything feels so difficult with the Jets. Nothing ever goes according to plan with this franchise.
No.
I'm not even a fan of the team. It makes you crazy though, because I just want to see like, hey, they drafted really well.
Right.
This team not going to make the playoffs, but they could win 6 games if Wilson plays the whole season and plays like a number 2 pick.
Yeah.
And Salah's second year now. So I just would have liked to have seen them start the year fully healthy and ready to go, even if it was week 2. But like now, the longer this Wilson stuff gets shady and it lingers, is he really going to be out there week 5? I don't know. Sam says 6-11 too. Okay.
Yeah. Listen, for me, it stinks because Joe Flacco might win you 2 or 3 games, and he could. My guess is he'll go 2-2 or something like that. He could, but at the end of the day,
schedule's brutal.
Yeah, no matter what his record is in those 4 games, it just doesn't matter. He could be 4-0 or 0-4, and it doesn't matter because he's not the guy that you need to determine if he is your franchise quarterback or not. Like you just need Zach Wilson to play so that you can allow this guy to develop and hope that he turns into the number 2 pick that he was.
I hear what you're saying, but if he's 4-0, they're not pulling him.
I get it.
Right.
But they might. If he's 4-0, they still might pull him.
Yeah. I guess they could.
He's not the future. He's not, if you're going to let him go for this season, then you let him go for the season, but he's not the future. You took a number 2 pick, a first-round pick on Zach Wilson. You have to determine if he's going to be your guy or not. He's 22 years old or 21 years old, whatever he is.
Fair. Okay. I don't have the Giants winning the NFC East as we do our NFC picks here, but I'm on the Eagles. Their whole world is on Dallas. Let me tell you something. You're going to talk to me about the people who don't like this pick. They're going to say Jalen Hurts. Remove the quarterback from the situation. As difficult as that is to do in the NFL, this Eagles roster is better than the Cowboys. As a team, they are better. The receivers are better. So Hurts is as mobile, if not more so, than Prescott. I think he takes a good step forward. I got Philly winning the East. I'm on the Packers to win the North here because it's the easy pick. If Minnesota wins the division, I won't be stunned, but I will be mildly surprised. Green Bay's defense is legit. I know we're going to talk about who are the receivers. I'm not worried about that. They will run the ball, and they will play really good defense. Okay. This was the toughest pick for me because I like the Saints a lot.
Yep.
But I'm going to roll with Brady because I looked like an idiot 100 times in my life picking against Tom Brady. So I'll roll with the Bucs and Brady in the South. And then I'm on the Rams, the defending champs, to win the West. I don't know enough, and I haven't seen enough of Trey Lance yet to believe that he can lead the Niners to a division title. So give me LA out West. Oh, those are your wild cards.
You're
Sorry,
giving it all away.
Yep.
So not the whole world is on the Cowboys because I'm not on the Cowboys either. I think, and I'm not the only one who thinks this, the Eagles won draft night by getting A.J. Brown from the Titans. The Eagles won draft night. They made huge steps on defense. A guy like Nakobe Dean who fell to them. They are so much better this year that if they don't do well, it will be because of Jalen Hurts. Yeah. So they will either make the playoffs or they won't. And if they don't make the playoffs, then he won't be their quarterback the following season because they're good enough to make the playoffs.
Yep. Okay.
Packers in the North, that's a slam dunk. That's an easy one. For me, the Bucs, like you, I like the Saints. I have them in as my wild card. The Rams, again, I'm going to pick them probably all the way through the NFC. So.
Jeff says O-line play going to be a big factor in the NFC East. Yeah. And look, the injury to Tyron Smith right off the jump for Dallas is concerning, or at least it should be concerning. Here are my NFC Wild Card teams. Told you I like New Orleans. They're in for me.
The Vikings.
Now, the Niners are interesting here. Peter King from NBC says he thinks Garoppolo takes over for Lance in week 7. I think that's when they play the Chiefs.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And I think it says something, too, that San Francisco, if they believe Trey Lance was the guy, you don't want any kind of quarterback controversy and a backup who has had the success of Garoppolo to kind of just be hanging around. They would have found a way to get him out of town. This tells me that they aren't 100% in on Lance, at least for this year. Okay, so the security blanket of Garoppolo, I like. Then the Niners are just so good defensively, and Deebo Samuel and the whole thing. Here's my thing with the NFC. I don't love Dallas. I like Dallas. Minnesota's the only other team other than Dallas that I would put in. So if it isn't the Cowboys, I'm putting Minnesota in.
I get it.
They have so many offensive weapons. If Cousins plays as well as he did last year, they lost so many games because they were bad at the end of the first half and bad at the beginning of the second half. I think it turns around now with new coaches in place. So I'm on Minnesota.
Okay. The only thing we have different is swapping out the Cowboys. Yep.
No, I don't have the Cardinals. I went Niners.
Oh, yeah. I'm not on the Niners.
Okay.
I don't. There's a lot of hype around the Niners, too. Until I see Trey Lance play a real NFL game that he wasn't just kind of filling in for Jimmy G last year, until I see him play legitimate games and do well and take this team to where they think it can go, I'm not buying in. So I'm out on the 49ers. I'm in on the Cardinals. The Cardinals have proven they can win in the regular season, just haven't proven they can win in the playoffs. I'll take Kyler Murray in that big old contract.
Okay.
And the Saints. I like the Saints a lot, actually.
Yeah. So we both think that Jameis Winston will stay healthy and will play. Todd wants to know, we're going to talk to the AEW wrestlers coming at all. We are in communication, Todd. We are in communication. They're coming to MVP Arena. I believe it's next week they're doing that. So we're in communication. We'll see if we can make that happen. So Nick is drinking the Hard Knocks Kool-Aid the same way I have been. I don't have them in the playoffs, but I said they could win 6 games. The Vegas number is 5.5, I think. And you know, Vegas is usually right. Vegas is usually right. Billy says special teams should be buttoned up for the Packers this year. Yeah. I know. That was a disaster last year, but yeah, with Bisaccia running the special teams unit in Green Bay, they should certainly be much better, Billy. You're right about that. All right, quick timeout here. When we come back, we jump into our Pick Six Vodka NFL Pick'em, which we'll do here each and every week, and we'll tell you why it's different this year compared to last.
At Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on for cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair. You can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
And now back to Onorato and Company. Brought to you by Alpenhaus.
All right, the NFL Pick'em each and every week, as you see, presented on your screen there by Pick Six Vodka. Ash, let's get going.
And now your weekly NFL Pick'em. Presented by Pick Six Vodka.
Shout out to our people at Saratoga Courage Distillery, Holly and Serge and Adam as well. Their support of this show all the way back to the start of NFL season last year. I see our guest has popped on. So, Ash, let's run through our picks here before we bring in the CEO of the United Way of the greater capital region. Tonight's game, we've talked about tonight's game. We can just make the pick here. I'm on the Rams. You're on the Bills. Here's my quick thought behind it.
They're
underdog as the Super Bowl champ at home. Give me the Rams because we're picking against the spread here. Now, I think the Rams are going to win the game, but I also just like that you're going to give me points. I'll take them.
Yeah. This is my first time, obviously, doing the pick six, picking against the spread. I tend to stray toward favorites. I'm going to try and get away from that a little bit, but yeah, I'm taking the favorites. I love the Bills. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'll probably ride them all season long until they prove that they can't do it.
Okay. Ravens and Jets. This is there's got to be the slam dunk of the week, right? 6.5. You're telling me Baltimore to win by a touchdown against the Jets, against their former quarterback, Joe Flacco. We're both on the Ravens here. Anything more to add?
No, it's the Jets.
Here's an interesting matchup here because you get Baker against his old team, Browns and Panthers, and you and I both like Baker here in this spot.
I've said this is one of my favorite games of opening week because of the circumstances. I think Baker was the best choice for the Panthers at quarterback. Now everyone else is hurt. He's the only choice. I think he will be inspired. I think he's going to play really well. I think the Panthers have some pieces. If you get Christian McCaffrey and he stays healthy,
right,
I like the Panthers.
Okay. Giants and Titans, your Giants, and you like your Giants.
Yeah.
I say home, Tennessee, Henry all over this Giants defense to cover the 5.5.
Yeah, I get it. The 5.5, this is where I started to think, the 5.5 is a little bit of a big number. The Titans are a little bit injured. The Giants in the past have been okay at stopping the run. So that's not my concern with them. It's Derrick Henry, so he's more concerning than the average running back. But I went with a homer pick on this one. I'm not going to say they win, but maybe they keep it within a field goal or 5 points.
One of the 425 games, also a very interesting matchup here. You've got the Cardinals in the playoffs, so you also like them here, maybe not to outright win, but at least to cover as an underdog at home. I'm on Kansas City. I just think they're better. I have a great analysis here.
Yeah,
they're just
better. No doubt.
Here's the Sunday night game on News Channel 13 and our final game of the week in this Pick Six Vodka Pick'em. We're both on the Bucks here. They're favorites on the road at Dallas. We're both on Tampa Bay.
Yeah, listen, it's a 1.5.
You're just picking a winner.
Yeah.
You're just picking a winner at that point. All right, let's bring our guest in here and specifically why we have Peter Gannon on the show this week, CEO of the United Way, the Greater Capital Region, is because really what we're doing this year with the Pick Six Vodka Pick'em, this was really his idea. I'm not going to take credit for the genius behind it, Peter. Man, it's good to have you on the show. Thanks for doing this. But when you and I connected in Amsterdam not all that long ago, you said, hey, I know you could do an NFL pick segment. Wouldn't it be cool if... And so here we are now. We're going to try to do some good in the community to benefit some nonprofits thanks to your great idea, man.
Vodka, football, and charity. That's the Peter Gannon trifecta. And to do it with a bison is also exceptional.
That's where it's at. That's really why I wore my blue today, for the Shaker Blue Bison, not for the New York Giants.
Right. I'm outnumbered by Shaker grads here. So, Peter, tell us about this, man. We've got sponsors on the show that we're going to split time with nonprofits around the capital region. And at the end of the day, you all are going head to head. The nonprofits are anyway. So we'll have 8 different nonprofit organizations from the capital region making picks with us weekly. And whichever nonprofit has the best record at the end of it all will be a beneficiary of the great work that our sponsors do on the show.
Well, I love the sound of that. And I wish the best of luck to the other 7 competitors. This week, it is hard going first and on this slate. We talked about that a little bit, Chris. This slate is tough this week, but a lot of good storylines, and my picks are ready. So, let me know when you're ready for me to fire. Here.
All right. So you already got a little bit of a look at what Ash and I think will happen this week. Here are your picks.
See what Peter thinks.
And give us a thought here on why you're going Buffalo specifically tonight.
I mainly went Buffalo. I think that, honestly, if I were betting with actual money, I'm on the Rams. The home team in this game has a really strong record, historically.
Yes.
But I'm on the Bills mainly so that I don't get the inbox flooded by Buffalo Bills fans for the rest of the afternoon about how could you not pick the Bills.
Okay.
So
okay.
I did the Bills for you, but honestly, if I had, Jude and Jack and Joey's, 529 at stake, I'd be on the Rams here. So,
okay. Now we're all on the Ravens, which is no
Yep.
surprise. Is this the slam dunk of the weekend? Got
it's
to be, right?
That's a big number, 6.5 on the road, but the Jets, and I don't think the Jets are as bad as we historically think of the Jets. They put some good pieces together, but I also think you're going to see like a reinvigorated Lamar Jackson this weekend, and he's frustrated. He's come off a down year, and the defense is good in Baltimore. So similar to you guys, I don't think a touchdown is that much when you boil it down.
All right, man, I love this. You say, hey, it doesn't need to be Deshaun Watson. I'll roll with Jacoby Brissett.
This is how you beat us.
You're on the Browns, dude.
Yeah, I'm a big Jacoby Brissett fan. I didn't get dressed in the full uniform like Ashley, but I'm a New England Patriots fan.
Yeah.
And we drafted Jacoby Brissett in New England, and he filled in amicably during the suspension year for Brady, and then went on to the Colts and had some success. So that's a guy who can ball. You don't think of him in those terms. And the rest of the pieces on the Browns are strong. The running game's strong. The defense, I think, is really good. I think the Panthers' defense is really good, and I'm leery of going against Baker Mayfield with a chip on his shoulder. But sometimes in those emotional games, that can work against you as well. So I like the Browns. Fundamental game management. They're gonna grind through this and cover.
Now, this I find interesting. You picked the Bills to avoid the inbox being flooded by fans, but you're not picking the Giants here. And obviously there are a bunch of Giants fans in the capital region.
The Giants stink.
Okay.
Yeah, the Giants. Well, listen, I started as a Giant fan. I watched Scott Norwood sail that field goal wide right. And what I realized more than liking the Giants or Patriots was I liked seeing the Bills suffer more than any of it. So, but I started as a Giants fan. The league is better when the Giants are good.
Yeah.
They're just not there yet. I'm excited about it though. The new coach is great.
Yep.
I think the defense has improved. People are saying we're going to really finally see Saquon Barkley. So that's good, but there's no passing game to be heard of. And, the Titans have been there, Tannehill again, seasoned, can get into a rhythm, and how do you contend with Derrick Henry? And again, we're talking about a touchdown at home. I think the Giants are going to get better. They're going to improve, but we just won't maybe see it fully in week one. Sorry, Ashley.
That's all right. Yeah. I just went with my heart there. I don't know that they're like, I really felt like they're a better team in any way, shape, or form, but I went with them. People are off the Titans this year, which is weird.
Yeah.
They're not that different of a team minus A.J. Brown, but people are off the Titans a little bit, it feels like.
And the pass rush isn't really there for Tennessee, though, either this year. Ash, Peter likes your Cardinals.
I like this pick, Peter.
Shout out to Matt Fonner, my buddy from Best Buddies, who is a huge Arizona Cardinals fan. But I'm a huge Kyler Murray fan. And I think of a lot of the psychology of the game. Maybe I overthink that. But I think that's a guy who feels like he has a lot to prove. I think the Chiefs are a team that is going to have to find their way a little bit. Their division is stacked. There's a lot working against the Chiefs right now. New receiving core. And, that line's also moved to, I think, 6.5 now. So a lot of money coming to the Chiefs, I think. But I think the Cardinals have tried to build a roster this year that is going to go for 17 weeks instead of 9 or 10 weeks that they've done in the past. Murray's going to grow. Marquise Brown's a stud. Yep. Athletes, I love it. And the Chiefs are going to have some adjustments. It's a completely overhauled receiving core. Edwards-Helaire wasn't what they thought he was. There's some question marks there. The Cardinals secondary is terrible. They'd be better off running me and Chris out there this weekend. But
hey, what about me?
You're a better athlete than two of us.
You're far superior athletically to me and Chris. So it's going to be a track meet, but I think the Cardinals at home, Kyler Murray, something late, heroic, amazing play to win that game outright, not just cover.
And now, as Ash said, hey, look, you want to beat all the other nonprofits that participate here, but you want to beat us as well. There's a head-to-head thing that we'll keep track of against the two hosts here who pretend like they know something about this. So you've got Cleveland different from us, and now you've got Dallas different from us, man. Why the Cowboys?
Well, I'm high on the Cowboys in general this year. I think the defense is strong. I think the offense is great. The CeeDee Lamb, I think, is just generational talent. So it diversifies away from the Ezekiel Elliott show. It's less pressure on Prescott. I think it's just more balanced. It's going to be a better team. I'm a huge Tom Brady guy, and so I've lived through this. This is a game that Tom Brady would almost intentionally lose just to create a chip on his shoulder going forward. Nationally televised in Dallas, huge stadium. But in seriousness, Tom Brady is phenomenal. He's the greatest quarterback of all time. It's unquestioned. It's not questioned.
Yep.
Missing 10, 11 days, 7, 8 practices. It takes a toll. And so, I think back to, Tom Brady's mentality with Bill Belichick was always, the first 4 weeks of the regular season are our preseason. So there's going to be some tinkering. There's going to be some, adjustments that they make over the first few weeks of the season, which, isn't going to always equal wins. All that said, Brady's going to come out and probably beat him by 20 Sunday night. But I think, if I was betting on it, Cowboys to win it at home, small number, I think Tampa Bay's line, a lot of questions. So,
big time.
It's gonna be an adjustment for the Buccaneers early. They're my pick to be in the Super Bowl against the Chargers in February, but I think the Cowboys have their number this week.
Cowboys Chargers Super Bowl
Buccaneers Chargers Super Bowl, and Justin Herbert as Super Bowl MVP.
I like that. Well, Melissa's in on your idea here to support some of the nonprofits in the capital region. Obviously, the United Way supports so many of the nonprofits here. We're gonna try to single some out throughout the season. And look, obviously, if you beat the rest of them, the money is up to your discretion.
Well, it's all going to a good cause. So.
Yeah, no matter what.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Let's not put that kind of pressure on me.
All right, this is how we do the Pick Six Vodka NFL Pick'em each and every week. Peter, thanks so much for joining us, dude.
Thanks,
I know
guys.
We'll let you run, and we'll keep tabs on how you do.
Yeah, or don't, depending on how it goes. I'll be the first one to call back in if I go 6 for 6.
No doubt.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right, Peter. Thanks so much, man.
Thanks, Peter.
Peter Gannon from the United Way, the CEO of the United Way, the Greater Capital Region here in the 518, and his idea. I didn't get to ask him. Maybe he'll win, and I can bring this back. I'm not going to throw it up here now because he's not here to talk about it. Sure. But I found a picture that he tweeted out that I wanted to ask him about wearing a particular NBA jersey and why how that ended up happening for him. But so hopefully he wins and we can bring him back on. Let's take a quick time out here on Onorato and Company. When we come back, we are jumping into our Super Bowl predictions, and we've got baseball to talk about. And as a matter of fact, Ash, we have a lot of baseball to talk about. Back right after this.
Alpenhaus RV is celebrating 58 years of family fun and camping during our anniversary sale. Shop big anniversary savings on an even bigger selection of RVs. Choose from new 2022 Avenger travel trailers for $194 a month and new 2022 Colorado travel trailers for $228 a month. Plus, all 2020 and newer RVs come with our exclusive lifetime warranty. Proudly serving you since 1964 and generations to come. Don't miss our 58th anniversary sale at Alpenhaus RV.
You've heard of unsung heroes. The men and women of Naiskoba are the unseen heroes. For the past year, you've learned about our many charitable endeavors. Now it is my privilege to share with you the work performed by our members, the 20,000 state correction and law enforcement officers shielded from view. They work in difficult and dangerous conditions and are an extension of the police who protect our neighborhoods. Naiskoba honors New York's police and firefighters and salutes its own members who help deliver a peaceful night's sleep.
And now back to Onorato and Company. Brought to you by Alpen House.
Andy Heck and Katie Osborne at Alpen House, where they are doing some big things that I hope on News Channel 13 will have an opportunity to show you some of the big things that they're doing out in Amsterdam to expand that great business that they already have going in a big, big way, a family-run business that is celebrating a big anniversary this year. All right, we're still on the NFL topic here, so let's just do it. Let's just do the Super Bowl picks here instead of waiting after we talk about what Aaron Judge is doing and what the Mets are trying to still figure out. We've got the Popeyes Louisiana Fast Minute, the Performance Industrial Dirty Difficult Done still to go here. Here is my Super Bowl 57 pick. I have no idea. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't love any one particular team this year. I think the Bills are the best team.
You think the Packers are going to go to the Super Bowl?
Yes, because name me a team in the NFC that is head and shoulders better than them.
I mean, not head and shoulders, but you may.
How about a head better than them?
After week one, you may think that there are quite a few teams who are better than them.
The Packers week one last year
last year, I know.
35-3 to the Saints, or might be 38-3.
Okay, after week 3, you may think there are a lot of teams better than them.
I don't think I'm going to think that. This defense is good enough to keep them in every single game. Packers beat the Rams at home last year. I don't think Devontae Adams played in that game. This defense is good enough to keep them in every single game. The running game will make Aaron Rodgers' life easier. It's going to open up the play action stuff downfield for guys like Lazard. Maybe somebody like Romeo Doubs or Christian Watson really flashes as a rookie. I have no idea. But there isn't a team in the NFC that I feel like, they're certainly better. And so what am I doing here? I'm doing the lazy thing, and I'm taking the best quarterback. And that's Aaron Rodgers. So give me the Packers. Look, I'm not going to put the Packers in the Super Bowl, have them losing. So give me the Packers to beat the Bills.
Yeah, fine. That's fine. I don't disagree that Aaron Rodgers is capable of winning a Super Bowl. I just think they didn't get there last year. They're not better than they were last year.
Or the year before that. I know.
Yeah, they're not better than they were either of those years. So I'd have a hard time putting that. That was my thinking. I had a hard time putting them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm going Bills over Rams because it's chalk, and it seems like to start the season, these are two of the better teams. Everybody's on the Bills. I'm not going to have the Bills lose the Super Bowl, so the Bills win the Super Bowl for me.
Nick, of course, Bengals, Packers, Houday. Adam weighing in here, didn't have a chance to share this one. Wants to know how the Cowboys are going to hold up, especially with the O-line. Okay. The penalties, we saw that in the preseason with them. My goodness, God. What an absolute mess that was. First of all, shout out to this guy. Okay. He's a huge Jets fan. We feel sorry for him because of that, but he laughs about it. And he's reacting to the fact that you, Peter, and I all picked the Ravens to cover 6.5 at MetLife on Sunday.
John Conway, sorrier for him because he has to deal with us all the time.
All the graphics you see on the show, that man right there, incredible. The way he makes this show look as good as it does when I don't screw something up, and I'm doing a lot here that I feel like I'm going to mess something up and make John's graphics look bad. That's gone pretty well. Melissa's been with us from the start. Melissa, it's great to have you on the show. I love that you're being as interactive as you are. I enjoy her. Now, my only thought here is she says you're such a smart woman because you married me. That's what I think she's saying, and that's what I'm reading into it, and that's what I glean. I'm smart because
I picked the Bills to win the Super Bowl. I'm also smart because I married you. I think that was a smart decision.
Yeah. Look at you. Some may not agree with you. All right. Last time out of the show here. We're back in less than 30 seconds on Onorato and Company. We've got baseball to talk about, and we've got the Popeyes Louisiana Fast Minute and the Performance Industrial Dirty Difficult Done still to come.
I don't care what kind of stories that's been told on you. That may be a lot of things in life you used to do. If you can't give true love to me, I'll understand. Just do the best you can.
Michelob Ultra, 2.6 carbs and 95 calories.
And now back to Onorato and Company. Brought to you by Alpenhouse.
All right, Ash, let's go. Let's jump into that performance industrial, dirty, difficult, done, something we do each and every week on this show, thanks to our guy, Bill Miller up in South Glens Falls.
And now, dirty, difficult, and done. Presented by Performance Industrial.
There is no job that's too dirty or too difficult for Bill Miller and his team to get it done. So let's get it started here with the Triple D segment, as we like to call it. Ash, my dirty, difficult, done. We need to show some love to this woman right here. There is, arguably nobody as accomplished as Sue Bird in the game of basketball. 4 WNBA titles, 2 NCAA titles, 13-time All-Star. She won, I believe, 5 gold medals with Team USA. She has done absolutely everything you could do in the sport of basketball. She was a number 1 overall pick. She was a college basketball player of the year. And she says goodbye in the semifinals of this year's WNBA playoffs. But over the course of 20-plus years, there is no success that Sue Bird has not experienced. Incredible career. And so I say Sue Bird is done after all she has done that we just detailed.
I like it. Listen, she's one of the greats of all time. You've said it. There is no one more accomplished than her in the sport of basketball because of the UConn, Team USA, the Seattle Storm, everywhere she has gone, she's won. Yep. The only person who might touch it is Brianna Stewart because she won more than her at UConn. And if the problem is she's not going to have the longevity of Sue Bird. Sue Bird has played a long career.
Yep.
Brianna Stewart has been injured. An Achilles injury is tough to come back from, and she's obviously back from it. But will she have the longevity that will allow her to win 5 gold medals? My guess is no. So in terms of what she's able to do, we'll see. But she's, regardless of what Stewie does at any point, she's one of the greatest ever. Oh, I love this story. Listen, we talk a lot about the Bills, and we've mentioned Gabriel Davis. We mentioned Stephon Diggs. We haven't mentioned Dawson Knox. The dude has gone through a really hard time.
Yep. His
brother passed away a couple weeks ago, 22 years old, I believe. And right after that, he comes back from his leave, comes back to the Bills, and they get an extension done, a worthy extension, because this is a guy who is so underrated, and yet he's one of the best tight ends in the league. He gets a 4-year extension, $53 million, $53.6 million. It's one of the highest paid tight ends in the NFL, and he deserves it. But he is kind of, I think, in a lot of ways, the key cog to this Bills offense this year. If you can have 3 guys as talented as Stephon Diggs, Dawson Knox, and Gabriel Davis, you're doing something right. He had a career high 49 catches last year, 9 touchdowns, I believe it was. So he's targeted, aside from Stephon Diggs, the most targeted guy in the red zone for them. So good for Dawson Knox. I love, again, the Bills are kind of taking a page out of the Braves handbook and going out and getting a guy for an extended period of time. He said he wants to be in Buffalo, loves Buffalo. He's a key piece. I think this is just another reason why the Bills are loaded up and ready to go.
I'll jump into baseball here. Aaron Judge, as we sit on a Thursday morning, again, I said it is the ultimate cold takes exposed thing. There's no take here. The stats will just change if you're watching us on Saturday night. And maybe he has more than 55 home runs if you're watching us on TV. But going into their next series, he's hitting .301, 55 home runs, leads baseball with 118 RBIs. He's on pace for 65 here. There's little question at this point, right, that he hits 7 more. I don't know about 10 more, but that he hits 7 more and breaks Roger Maris' franchise record. What's interesting is this pace Judge is on is not that different than what McGuire was doing when he hit 70, and even what Bonds was doing when he hit 73. Those guys just had ridiculous Septembers.
Yeah.
I don't know that Judge can duplicate that, but but these are the numbers here. And why do I bring it up? Because Randy Levine, who's the Yankees president, says Judge is an all-time Yankee. He then went on to say, we know his worth and what he means. I don't know what's in his mind. All we can do is show him how much we'd like him to remain a Yankee. Now, he turned down a $213.5 million contract. That number now is easily over $300 million, right?
I was going to say, you better take out the checkbook, Randy.
Easily over $300 million now. Okay,
you're going to show him how much you love him. It's going to be that number's going to be big. It's going to be a big number.
What else is happening in baseball here? Max Scherzer goes to the 15-day IL with left side irritation. Now, it was the left oblique that landed him on the IL for more than almost 7 weeks earlier in the season. He's dominant. You see the numbers. Don't need to say much about it, but there is cause for concern at Citi Field, I would say, now with one of the two aces down for a second time this season.
We've said they both
am I making
have to
too
be
much
healthy.
of this? Yeah.
They both have to be healthy for a World Series run for this team. Both of them have to be healthy.
Let's rewind real quick here because I think this is interesting. There is a national narrative now that is pushing Shohei Ohtani ahead of Aaron Judge, only because the Yankees have tailed off a little bit. Ohtani is obviously doing things like we've never seen before, other than last year.
Yeah.
We saw
for a bad team.
We saw him do it last year.
And I just think if he's going to hit 65 home runs or 63 you can't not give it to him.
Yeah. All right, Ash, it is the Popeyes Louisiana Fast Minute, and that's all we pretty much have left on the show here is a fast minute. Francis Tiafoe is giving us hope on the men's side of American tennis. How great is this story? Knocks out Rafael Nadal. He is now into the semifinals at the U.S. Open. I love the fact that he's giving us hope for American men. But even more than that, Ash, I know you want to touch on this. I can see it in your face. We love his story.
He's great. He's the son of immigrants from Sierra Leone. His dad grew up, when they moved to Maryland, was a janitor at a tennis club. He grew up playing the sport. He is living the American dream. He's the first American male in the U.S. Open semi since 2006. That was Roddick.
Yep.
He's the first Black American man in the U.S. semis since Arthur Ashe. Oh, by the way, it's the guy the court is named after, 1972. Unbelievable. Although I watched Yannick Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz last night.
Yep.
That was unbelievable tennis. So nothing's given, but even just getting to the semis for him is unbelievable.
Yes, incredible. And obviously going to be rooting for Tiafoe from here on out. Roddick's only Grand Slam title was the U.S. Open. So it would be, how great would it be if Tiafoe can become the next American man to have done that. Awesome stuff. Hey, enjoy the football, everybody. Football is finally back here. We are so pumped about that as we kick off the season on Thursday night. Bills and Rams. Ash, thank you. Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week on Onorato and Company.